Why is she running? Why are you running? Hey everyone, Henry Yellow here, welcome back. Right now we are going to watch The Lady from Shanghai, directed by Orson Welles. Welles will also be starring in this movie, I assume as the main character. And this is a thriller movie. Feels like I haven't seen a thriller in a while. If you'd like to see my full reaction to this movie, then check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. And if you'd love to see more reactions to these type of classics, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you know whenever a new reaction is fresh out of the oven. Now let's see what this Lady from Shanghai is all about.
If I'd known where it would end, I'd have never let anything start. But here was a beautiful girl all by herself and me with plenty of time, nothing to do but get myself into trouble. I asked her if she'd have a cigarette.
But I don't smoke.
That's how I found her. And from that moment on, I did not use my head very much, except to be thinking of her. And that's maybe the reason why I start out in this story a little bit like a hero, which I most certainly am not. The cab driver was waking up. He was okay, so I borrowed his carriage to drive the lady home. Fair Rosalie. It's a name I'm after calling.
Rosalie?
Why not? It's a gorgeous, romantical name entirely. My name's Mike.
You're a character.
I bet you $1 I've been to the place where you were born.
Chifu.
It's on the China coast. Chifu. It's the second wickedest city in the world.
What's the first?
Macayo, wouldn't you say so?
I would.
He's using a different accent in this movie.
You know, the nicest jails are in Australia. The worst are in Spain.
What law did you break in Spain?
I killed a man. There was a man killed his wife in Frisco last week.
He had a good lawyer.
Evidently, I saw his picture in the newspaper.
Bannister.
And Arthur Bannister. It said he was the world's greatest criminal lawyer.
Some people think he is.
Car, ma'am.
Send the bill to my husband. If you're a sailor, Michael, there's a job for you. We're short a man on the crew.
He was smart to carry a gun, traveling alone in the park, but if you knew you had the gun in your bag, why throw away the bag?
I don't know how to shoot.
That is suspicious. She could have used the gun.
Evening, Mr. Grisby.
Mr. Bannister sent it all the way from San Francisco, just so she could have it here.
If she'll fool a husband, I figure she'll fool me.
Yeah?
You were asking for me.
O'Hara,
O'Hara.
do you drink?
I beg your pardon.
I asked you if you drink.
Whatever's said in front of me doesn't have to be wholesome, just so long as it's strong.
Now, Mr. O'Hara, if you'll show me to the nearest bar, we'll sit down together and discuss your coming to work for me. My name is Bannister.
Arthur Bannister.
Mike's quite a hero. Tough guy.
Mister, there ain't no such thing. What's a tough guy? A guy with an edge. What makes him sing better than me? Something in here. What makes it loud? A microphone. That's his edge. A little extra reach on a punch, a set of brass knuckles, a stripe on the sleeve, or a bankroll in your pocket. That's an edge, brother.
Yeah, but what makes him sing prettier than you?
Practice.
If I couldn't leave a helpless man lying unconscious in a saloon, it was me that was unconscious. And he was exactly as helpless as a sleeping rattlesnake.
So you're saying they're targeting Michael.
I wasn't sure you'd come.
I'm not staying.
You've got to stay.
Why?
Lover! Ever done any sailing?
A bit of it. I saw you last night at the garage, it was.
Somebody else, Danny boy.
She needs you back. You stay.
If you play your cards right, I think we can get a job for the both of us.
I think we'll take it.
What? What do you mean now something's really wrong? I cannot get used to his accent.
I on board the Cersei! I suppose you're wondering who I am, fella.
I think I saw you in New York.
I flew in this morning, by way of Havana. I'm George Grisby, you know. Grisby and Bannister.
Crispy.
Mr. Bannister tells me you once killed a man. I'm very interested in murders. How'd you do it? You did it with your hands, didn't you? What'd you do to you?
Nothing.
You just killed him for the fun of it, eh?
He was a Franco spy. There was a war on at the time.
Would you mind killing another man? Would you kill me if I gave you the chance? I may give you the chance.
Michael!
This is getting weird.
I wish she'd ask me to go swimming. She'll ask you. You wait and see.
Do they want to hire him to assassinate someone? Everyone's acting so weird and mysterious.
I'm learning to smoke now. Ever since that night in the park,
Do all rich women play games like this?
Call me Rosalie.
Yeah, even the alarm bells are ringing in my head.
You're scared, aren't you? I'm scared too.
You're not that kind. Sure, if you need anything, you help yourself.
I'm not what you think I am. I just try to be like that. What are we scared of?
Okay.
Now he knows about us.
I wish I did.
Bye-bye. Mr. Grisby has just told me something I'm very sorry to hear. Lover, this really concerns you more than anyone else.
Don't take your arms away.
Michael is anxious to quit.
Comes a change.
The hour's too long.
No, sir.
How about the money?
I don't care about that, sir.
Are you independently wealthy?
I'm independent.
Of money?
Money cannot bring you health and happiness, etc. Is that it? Without money, I'd be flat on my back in the ward of a county hospital. Look at this yacht.
Take Bessie here. She used to work for Backrack.
I pay her more, don't I, Bessie?
Yes, Mr. Bannister.
Her salary means happiness.
Isn't that right, Bessie?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course it is.
Why do you stand for that, Bessie? I'm quitting.
You heard him, Mr. Poet. I need the money.
That poor little child he married. Somebody's got to take care of her. Then don't take your lips away.
Love. Do you believe in love at all, Mrs. Bannister?
The Chinese say it is difficult for love to last long. Therefore, one who loves passionately is cured of love. In the end, human nature is eternal. One who follows his nature keeps his original nature.
Never heard of it.
I can't deny that Mr. Bannister did try to give his wife the things she wanted. She'd said once that she liked picnics. A lot of trouble and a great deal of money went into it, but it was no more a picnic than Bannister was a man.
But listen, this is a plot against my life, correct? I'm going to be murdered. Isn't that the information you're peddling? Don't you think I know about it? All about it? Now leave me alone.
I found out about Broom, Michael. I tried to tell you before. He isn't really a steward.
He isn't a good one, that's sure.
He's a detective, Michael. My husband hires him to watch me.
Does that matter so much? I shouldn't say it would.
Oh, you don't know anything about the world.
Well, lately I've been rounding out my education.
Broom? Which one is Broom?
Time for another?
Time for another.
You know what? Michael still insists.
I beg your pardon? You know, George thinks Michael's fallen for you, and that makes me unhappy. George hopes. But you ought to realize I don't mind a bit if Michael's in love with my wife. He's young.
I don't have to listen to you talk like that.
Oh, yes, you do, lover. Why doesn't Michael want to work for us?
Why should he? Why should anyone want to live around us?
Sit down and have a drink. Give him a drink, George. Michael may not be in the social register, but then neither are you anymore.
Is this what you folks do for amusement in the evenings? Sit around toasting marshmallows and call each other names?
If you think George's story is interesting, you ought to hear the one about how Elsa got to be my wife.
Do you want me to tell him what you've got on me, Arthur?
Once, off the hump of Brazil, I saw the ocean so darkened with blood it was black. A few of us had lines out for a bit of idle fishing. It was all about the sea was made of sharks, and more sharks still. My shark had torn himself from the hook, and the scent, or maybe the stain it was, drove the rest of them mad. Then the beasts took to eating each other. There wasn't one of them sharks in the whole crazy pack that survived.
So he's saying they are like sharks. They're eating at each other and hurting each other.
Think the world's coming to an end?
Well, there was a start to the world sometime, so I guess there'll be a stop.
How'd you like $5,000? What? That's what I said. $5,000, fella. All you have to do is kill somebody.
Who, Mr. Grisby? Is it someone I know?
Oh, yeah. But you'll never guess. It's me. I want you to kill me.
I already guessed.
So long, fella.
Although it's weird. Oh, I thought he jumped. No, he didn't.
You talked to George yesterday.
I did.
Did he say anything about us?
He talked about suicide.
Would you kill yourself if you had to? I've looked at those pills so many times.
Pills?
The ones my husband takes to kill the pain, and wondered if enough of them would kill my pain.
Beautiful moon. Nice night for it, ain't it, Mr. O'Hara? You ought to speak when you're spoken to. I'd hate to have to report you to the lady's husband. Oh.
Wait, what is going on? Why is she running? Why are you running?
Would you care to dance with me?
You know what Broom's been doing.
Spying on you.
You can't escape it or fight it. You've got to get along with it. Deal with it, make terms.
To begin with, living on a hook takes away your appetite. You've no taste for any pleasure at all but the one that's burning in you.
I suppose you're wondering what's behind my little proposition. The firm of Bannister and Grisby's insured against the death of either partner. If one of us dies, the other stands to get a lot of money. Like some other people we both know, I'm not very happily married. Better meet me in my office. Make it late tonight.
What for?
$5,000.
I don't understand. He wants to kill himself so Bannister will get a lot of money?
I shot and killed Mr. George Grisby, placing his dead corpse in the Sausalito Bay.
Just a minute. What you reading there? Am I supposed to have written it?
Yeah.
I want to live, but I want to vanish. I want to go away and change my name and never be heard of again.
Oh?
If they're looking for you, they'll find you. Unless they think you're dead.
I see. This makes more sense.
The state of California will say I'm dead. Somebody will say they murdered me.
What happens to you, really?
I disappear.
What happens to me?
Hunted down.
You swear you killed me, but you can't be arrested.
How come?
There's no such thing as homicide unless they find a corpse.
But they've got a confession.
I'm dead if you say you murdered me. But you're not a murderer unless I'm dead. Silly, isn't it?
I don't know how the law works there. But even if they don't find a body with a confession, they can still put him in jail, right? Can't they?
Oh, Michael.
Fair Rosalie.
You love me very much.
I do.
Do you still want to take me away with you? Take me.
Come on. Hey, look, I want to see you.
You're not going to try anything foolish, are you?
I'm afraid so. Something very foolish indeed.
I reached in and got the gun, but I had hardly taken hold of it when the gun went off by accident in my hand. Then I saw that Mr. Grisby was all covered with blood. My husband wrote that thing and got you to sign it for him.
No, it's Grisby's idea. It seems Mr. Grisby wants to disappear, and this is a scheme of his to get himself declared dead.
Maybe George isn't as big a fool as he seems to be, but I'll swear my husband's behind this whole thing.
I wonder, am I the only one that's onto you and her?
Who?
That ought to be worth a little extra. But I'll throw it in for the same price.
What are you selling?
I can shut up. That's what I'm selling. I guess you wouldn't want me to say nothing about how you're fixing to frame Michael. Frame him for a murder you're going to commit.
Well, let's talk it over tomorrow, huh?
We'll settle our account right now.
Are you shooting a gun?
Yeah, we're just doing a little target practice. That's what you're gonna say, isn't it, when you shoot the gun down by the boat landing? I was just doing a little target practice.
Oh, he isn't dead.
Back there.
Here's my card. Let me know if there's any damage.
Looks like you got damage. Let me look at your hand. It's cut.
That's okay,
Bad.
fella, really. You'll make a good witness for us. You testify you saw us just before the murder.
Are you ill?
I got some lead in me.
I'll call a doctor.
Did already. Somebody's gonna be killed.
You mean?
Yeah, your husband. Maybe he's the one who's gonna be knocked off. You'd better get down to his office. What are you doing?
Getting blood all over the floor of the car. My blood. It's perfect. He's just trying to wash that out. Now, come on, get the guns in the glove compartment.
But back then, there's no DNA testing. The police won't know that the blood is Grisby's blood.
Give me that cap.
What are you laughing at?
Wait and see.
Hey, what are you doing with that gun?
I was just doing a little target practice.
Hello, I want to speak to Mrs. Bannister.
Get down to the office. You was framed. Grisby didn't want to disappear. He just wanted an alibi. And you're it.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Even now, the police hasn't arrived to help Broom.
Am I too late? What do you say, Mr. Bannister?
Hey, that's blood, ain't it?
You were asking for me?
Pardon me, please.
Do freely make the following confession.
Confession?
On the evening of August 9th, I shot and killed George Grisby.
Hello, darling. George has been murdered.
It was Mr. Bannister's plan.
The wrong man was arrested. The wrong man was shot. Grisby was dead, and so was Broom.
But you can prove he didn't do it with this gun.
The gun that did kill George can't be found, lover, so we can't prove that Michael didn't shoot him. And it was Michael's gun that killed Broom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
And then there's this crazy confession.
But Michael has an explanation. Michael said something about partnership insurance.
What?
Partnership insurance.
Which he, George, wanted to collect.
Yes.
Well, if he was dead, how could he collect?
You want to make sure he doesn't get off, don't you?
I've never lost a case, remember?
Why did you kill Broom?
What?
Don't be afraid to tell me, please. I just want to know.
Well, sure, does Grisby killed Broom. Grisby wanted people to think he was dead so he could get away from his wife.
Wife? But that's impossible.
Why?
He's not married.
George didn't have a wife. He wasn't married.
Okay. George Grisby was lying to Michael.
As I'm sure Officer Peters is most anxious to go home to his wife and family before returning to duty. The clothes were dry.
Yes, sir.
Yet the defendant stated in his confession that he threw the body into the bay.
Your Honor, the district attorney isn't cross-examining. He's making speeches.
Officer Peters, I don't wish to keep you from your wife and children, but I would like to ask you one question. Have you a wife and children?
No.
Thank you.
What? What was the point of asking that question?
Arthur Bannister.
It's certainly unusual, Your Honor, to put a defense attorney on the witness stand.
I always thought he was smart.
I don't come any smarter.
You ain't kidding.
The defendant, Michael O'Hara, worked as a member of the crew of your yacht.
Yes?
Wasn't he threatening to quit?
Yes.
Right after the murders, we found the defendant's bags packed. Would this not indicate premeditation?
The district attorney is again making speeches,
Premeditation and plan
making
for flight?
speeches and drawing conclusions.
Since the district attorney has placed me in the position of a witness, that I am permitted, as the defense attorney, to cross-examine myself.
Yeah, he has to question himself.
Did the defendant say anything as to why he had taken the job? Answer. Yes, Mr. Bannister. Mr. Bannister had to go to the Seamen's Hiring Hall and use his persuasive powers to convince the defendant to take the job. Can you think of anything else that is relevant to this issue? No. Very well.
I call Mrs. Arthur Bannister.
State your name.
This is Arthur Bannister.
Mrs. Arthur Bannister?
There was a man employed in your house and on your husband's yacht named Sidney Broom. Can you think of any reason why your husband would want to hire a divorce detective other than to watch you?
I object!
Objection sustained. Didn't you and your husband have an argument about your showing an infatuation for O'Hara?
We did not.
As a matter of fact, you and Michael O'Hara have kissed each other, haven't you? You were seen in the aquarium of this city kissing each other. Do you deny that?
No.
No further questions.
But even if he established that, that's not. Oh, that is could be a motive for killing Broom, but not a motive for killing George Crispy.
Now that it's too late for you to do anything about it, I might as well tell you. This is one case I enjoyed losing.
He wanted him to die.
I'm going to ask for a stay of execution. I want you to live as long as possible before you die.
You're talking kind of tough, aren't you, Mr. Bannister?
I've got an edge.
Michael.
Jury, have you arrived at a verdict?
Tyson Films!
They didn't hear the verdict, though.
That's it, Benny. Keep him walking.
All right, Mr. Galloway.
That guy was slow. Well, he might really kill him. Not the best fighting scene that I've seen, but okay.
No, that was a fish fight. I expect a full report from you. Get off the floor, Officer Fishmine. You know, no pictures.
What's this supposed to be, Chinatown? Oh, they actually have Chinese opera. Not sure if they were speaking Mandarin or Cantonese.
Backstage, Miss.
Not Mandarin. Who's she gonna call?
Hello, Lee.
Okay, Cantonese. But the accent sounds weird to me.
I saw you begging me to swallow and begging me with your eyes, but you didn't mean for me to take them all, of course, so I held some back, but not enough. I'm faint.
And now what? Where do you think you can hide?
I've got to find that gun.
What?
I've got to find the gun that killed Grisby. It'll prove I'm innocent.
I thought he pretended to take the pills, but he really took them. Then I'm surprised he's still standing.
The police. Put your arms around me.
Don't you move. I found the gun. You killed Grisby, yes.
How do you... Could be another gun, right?
I was right. Her servant Lee and his friend smuggled me out in the darkness and hid me where I'd be safe from the cops, not safe from her. I came to in the crazy house. And for a while there, I thought it was me that was crazy. She planned to kill Bannister. She and Grisby.
Ah.
Of course, she meant to kill Grisby, too, after he'd served his purpose.
Okay.
Poor howling idiot. He went and shot Broom, and that was not part of the plan. Broom might have got to the police before he died, so she had to shut up Grisby, but quick. And I was the fall guy.
Okay.
George was supposed to take care of Arthur, but he lost his silly head and shot Broom.
And what about me?
Oh, we could have gone off together.
You and me, or you and Grisby?
I love you.
One who follows his nature keeps his original nature in the end.
I knew I'd find you two together. If I hadn't, Elsa, I might have gone on playing it your way. I presume you think that if you murder me here, your sailor friend will get the blame, and you'll be free to spend my money. And the district attorney is just itching to open a letter that I left with him. With these mirrors, it's difficult to tell. You are aiming at me, aren't you? I'm aiming at you, lover. Killing you is killing myself. But you know, I'm pretty tired of both of us. You should have let me live. You're gonna need a good lawyer.
Like the sharks, mad with their own blood, chewing away at their own selves.
The sharks.
You said the world's bad. We can't run away from the badness, and you're right there. We must deal with the badness, make terms. And then the badness deal with you and make its own terms in the end, surely. You mean we can't win?
No, we can't win.
And we can't lose either. Only if we quit.
I'm afraid. Michael! Please! I don't want to die!
Bannister's note to the DA to fix it, I'd be innocent officially. Everybody is somebody's fool. Maybe I'll live so long that I'll forget her. Maybe I'll die trying.
So he still has feelings for her. Okay, I'll start off by saying that I couldn't get used to Orson Welles' accent in this movie because that is not how he sounded like in the other movies that I watched him. I'm not sure what his real accent is like, but his accent here it's just something I can't get used to, even until the end. For the first half of the movie, everything just felt so weird and wooden. It almost made me wonder if maybe this was all just a daydream or a dream that Michael was having. Grisby was acting weirdly, like smiling, silly the whole time, and the other side characters, their acting were kind of wooden. And there's also a lot of the times the dialogue is just interrupted. Like, for example, somebody saying something halfway and then the other person say, "What?" You don't even let him finish his sentence.
You know what? Michael still insists.
I beg your pardon?
How'd you like $5,000?
What?
Did he get a good look at it?
What's that?
That's fine, Judge.
Wasn't your idea?
What's that, lover?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Michael said something about partnership insurance.
What?
Partnership insurance.
Which he, George, wanted to collect.
Yes.
Dead so he could get away from his wife.
Wife, but that's impossible.
Why?
I'm not sure if maybe this is done on purpose or if it's just the actors were trying to rush through the dialogue. So the front part of the movie didn't make a lot of sense and everyone's acting weirdly. The events that are happening are just somehow it just gives me a weird vibe. I don't know what is going on and why the people are acting this way. At one point, I even thought that the strangeness almost resembled Apocalypse Now. Like there was a hint of it. Some performances were also melodramatic, but I think that was done on purpose for certain scenes. All that being said, by the end, thankfully things were made much clearer. I believe that since the beginning of the movie, Mrs. Bannister was looking for someone to be the fall guy. So Mrs. Bannister has an affair with George Grisby, and they both were planning to kill Mr. Bannister. So since the beginning of the movie, they were trying to search for a guy to take the blame, to be framed for the murder. And it just so happens that Michael unluckily approached Mrs. Bannister. I'm going to call her Elsa because I'm pretty sure her name's Elsa. So he approached Elsa, and then Elsa decided, yep, this is going to be the guy. And so she set up an entire scene where Michael gets to be the hero, saves her. She tries to invite him. Failed. She convinced Arthur, or Mr. Bannister, to go and find Michael and then invite him. After that, all these strange dialogues and blah 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 mystery happens. What happened next was pretty much explained at the end of the movie. In the end, the sharks ate themselves. Perhaps the weirdness and the strangeness of a majority of the movie was done on purpose so that it doesn't reveal the ending, because the whole time we only see it from one perspective, and that is, well, mainly Michael's perspective. And Michael is someone who just doesn't know what's going on. So they purposely did that so we wouldn't be able to figure out what was really happening behind the scenes. If that was truly Orson Welles' intention when he made the movie, then I guess he did a good job. Overall, for this movie, for me, it's kind of mixed, like 50-50, because I just felt that the movie was pretty weird. But on the other side, they really kept the mystery and the truth hidden from the audience until the very end. So yeah, kind of mixed on this one. On a side note, the Cantonese that they speak in this movie, it is the type of Cantonese where you know that these people, they don't speak Cantonese. They just memorize the script and they just say it, because that's not how a Cantonese with Cantonese accent is supposed to sound like. But then again, I'm not an expert in Cantonese. It was just a small little comment anyway. What do you think about The Lady from Shanghai? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching the movie with me. Hope you enjoyed my reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.